So Benny Johnson has made some interesting statements about what's going on in the courtroom. Apparently, he's privy to some information the rest of us
Well,
aren't.
what I thought was very interesting was that the fact that he was invited on Friday by someone in the courtroom, personally invited to show up, and why exactly was that, Vinny? I don't know, but yeah. What also is interesting, if you go back, because I was just kind of checking in on Candace while we were getting set up, and she was showing part of the video. Some guy on X actually pulled this up, and what they were showing the video on a monitor at one of the desks, and you could see where he was onto that particular video, and it is no different than the video we've all seen. It is exactly the same video. They're saying that this is a more enhanced. It's an enhanced video. Enhanced in what way? Well, we put like little arrows or little red circles around things and made so you can see it. But yeah, because you can't find it any way other way. You have to have the red circle to be able to see what the hell you're looking at. Um, and they blew it up like barely. They just kind of, squeezed in on it.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I do want you to specifically watch her face in this particular video. Okay.
We're outside of the 4th District Courthouse here in Utah. The Charlie Kirk preliminary murder trial just wrapped. We were there and witnessed everything. And you have to hear this because it was devastating what we watched. And the judge ruled that you can't see the high definition quality video 4K of Tyler Robinson committing the murder of Charlie Kirk. But we saw it, and they played it on giant screens inside of the courthouse.
Why can't we see it?
Clearly Tyler Robinson's face. You can see crystal clear the
Kate.
If it's so damning, if it's so irrefutable, then why can't the public see it?
Kate, if you're being held against your will, please blink.
License plate number on his vehicle, his movements on the rooftop. You can time it up to when Charlie Kirk was murdered. And what you also couldn't see was what happened inside of the courthouse. Erica Kirk was sobbing in the arms of her mother.
Why does it take so many edits in this? Have you noticed how many edits have gone on?
Jump Charlie's mother. This stuff makes me nauseated.
I mean, we make mistakes all the time, and we just let him go. And I understand he has a much more polished presentation, but yeah, let me just back this up because there's a lot of jumps.
But we saw it, and they played it on giant screens inside of the courthouse. You can see clearly Tyler Robinson's face. You can see crystal clear the license plate number on his vehicle, his movements on the rooftop. You can time it up to when Charlie Kirk was murdered. And what you also couldn't see was what happened inside of the courthouse. Erica Kirk was sobbing in the arms of her mother-in-law, Charlie's mother. Mrs. Kirk, feet away, is Tyler Robinson, pale, sallow.
Well, can you pause it? I actually kind of believe that because the the showmanship of Mrs. Kirk has been on full display from the inception of this event.
Yeah.
So I totally believe that she was sobbing in somebody's arms in some capacity because there were cameras present.
Yeah, I have a statement.
Have to be this jaded. And if it was anybody else, I might give them the benefit of the doubt. But she has proven herself to be a vehement and unrepentant liar.
Yeah, there's something going on there. So
staring at the floor the whole time, twitching and looking straight ahead, refuses to watch the video, refused to make eye contact with the family. Emotional day. The judge played all 20 minutes of the high definition security footage and the whole.
What? The what? What was that meaning?
And the whole courthouse gasped when it was over. It was really tough to watch. The prosecution has a demonstrable, overwhelming case. They said that multiple times. The defense has nothing. They asked minutiae questions about DNA evidence, but the judge was just shooing them along as we get to this 4K video reveal that will eventually be made public. It's already a case that is overwhelming against Tyler Robinson.
The AI is done. As soon as the Nvidia's generative AI adversarial network is done cooking up the footage, then we'll get to see it.
Yeah. He's talking about minutia in the DNA. It's not minutia because what they basically were saying was Tyler Robinson's DNA is on, like the trigger guard, but it's degraded. Well, that could mean a lot of things, but I would think that maybe that would mean that it had been on there a while back, because DNA can stay for decades. unless
Yeah.
something disturbs it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's you're grasping at straws, saying, well, they're really going at DNA minutia. No, they're really trying to figure out what evidence you have, and at this point, it's kind of weak.
We're
Once
grasping
you
at
see this,
straws with the DNA thing in the first place because it's his fucking rifle.
Well, but there's
It's his
other
rifle. It's going to have his DNA on it. That
there's
is not in
5
and of
other
itself
samples,
proof of anything.
5 other samples of DNA on that rifle. Lance Twiggs being one of them. So you're, right off the bat, it's you just go, wait a minute. If Lance actually had DNA on the rifle, could he have taken the rifle and planted it to frame Robinson? I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, is the possibility there? I think there is a possibility, but I could be wrong.
video, you will cast out all of the demons that have been attacking the Kirk family. It has been
Demons, no.
one of the most grotesque demonic evils that have been visited upon innocent people has happened to this beautiful family. Once you see all the evidence that we saw today, it's over. And that's what the lawyer said today. Please pray. Erica Kirk asked us to do this. Pray for a speedy trial. We have a right to a speedy trial here in our Constitution. We don't have to wait years in order to get to a trial phase here. We want justice to be done. Justice has to be done in this case, and done immediately. So please pray for the Kirks. They've been through enough. Time for justice for the widow. And just a word to all the Christians out there. The Bible calls us, in the Old Testament, the New Testament, to defend the widow, to defend the orphans, to provide for her, and to stand up for her. And so be a Christian today. Be upright. Please pray for justice in this case.
I am.
I'm
I am.
praying for justice. I'm praying for justice, not for just her, the family, but America, because there's something not right here. And I don't know. So yeah, that was meaning.
Human justice is not speedy. Divine justice
No.
can be.
Can be.
Can be. It's not typically, though, even in biblical terms. And by the way, when divine justice does come swiftly, it's typically not in the human's favor.
No.
Just ask Jericho about that one.
Yeah.
What do we got now?
This is Megyn Kelly, and she does an interview with Jack Posobiec, which I think is another one of the individuals that was asked to attend the hearing. So we'll get what he has to say.
Hey, Megan, thanks again for having me back. And so as I understand it, the live stream basically cut out for everybody who was watching, but for us, there was no stream, it just kept going. And so this was the compilation video that had been played before, but the exhibit that they played before was the raw video only. So that compilation of Tyler Robinson walking around the stairwell, once in his red shirt and shorts, once in his second costume, sort of his assassin's getup, his sniper getup, whatever you call it, where he's black. That's the one where he's walking with the limp. And the biggest difference here is that in the raw version of this, it was not zoomed in when it got to that sort of wide angle shot of the parking lot. I think there's two angles of that. There's one that really shows the walkway across to the Losi Center, and the other one sort of just shows the parking lot and the cars and the other side of the roof. And later on, we've all seen that video because it was released earlier, where he's running across, he drops down, he's got the gun, and then he runs across there's like a lawn and a hill there, and he runs.
Yeah, and that's, I think, 12-1. I think that's what they call the exhibit 12-1. And then what they showed them apparently was called exhibit 12-4, which is born out of 12-1, basically. They did some enhancements to the video.
Enhanced.
It is not, yeah.
Enhanced.
It is not 4K, apparently. I could be wrong, but from everything that we have found, that it's not really an enhanced video. They show you where the figure is by the little red circle, and then they have actually blown it up just a hair to maybe see it a little better, but it's still a blob. So
if this was damning information, given the amount of leakage this case has already sustained, anything that is damning to Tyler Robinson has already been leaked to the public. So the fact that we're still getting potato cam footage for this thing tells me they don't have 4K footage of it, or if they do, it doesn't show what they're saying that it does. And that all of these influencers got online and simultaneously started saying overwhelming, 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 overwhelming,
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
I'm not feeling very whelmed, except by perhaps the number of influencers saying the same thing. Like this is the fucking what was that network that got caught doing the this is dangerous to our democracy? Do you remember that shit from back in the 2015, 2016, 2017 days? This is dangerous to our democracy. Sinclair Network.
No. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. No, what really kind of got me, this a White House military presser release that they said this is something we all need to get together on.
I mean, this guy's got some serious lighting. He's all bathed in white. He's going for the Erica Kirk look, I guess, or the Ivanka Trump look. Is what's going on. Look at that. That's professional lighting there. Is he wearing some mascara? Some
No, he's not wearing the JD Vance product, but he's pretty well lit. I mean, he's got his hair done. He's got his beard done real well.
Maybelline for metros.
Maybe. I don't know. But if you look at this particular video, and I'm just saying, this is what we've all
It
seen.
was actually this angle, but a few minutes prior to this. So this is the same angle. This is what you see.
This is released by the FBI the day after the shooting. And we already knew, we had this video. But at that point, nobody could determine that who was on
Although
that
the
roof.
quality here.
Can you tell if there's even anybody hanging off the roof there? I mean,
no.
Granted, this is a video. So maybe that's really difficult, but
It's not as good as what we saw in court.
oh, look, he's on the ground. Oh, that's a shadow.
And that's why I keep pressing for all of these videos.
Oh, there he is.
To me, public, because again, what they showed on that screen in court is so much clearer, both in the stairwell videos and the rooftop videos, even on the, I guess it's a digital zoom in. It's so much clearer. And
But what's so interesting, if it's so much clearer, why can nobody still say with 100% certainty who that was? Well, I'm just referring to a particular individual, but yeah.
I have to explain that to everybody over and over. That's why the raws need to be put out. Even the video showing right now, this because I know it came off of a screen and it was recorded off another screen. And
oh yeah, those are the Chuck Taylors. And interestingly enough, those are called felony flyers because they're the #1 kind of tennis shoe. And back in the day, and even now, they're still very, very popular. But those are worn by a lot of felony conviction suspects. So
et cetera, et cetera. So just that loss.
but what's interesting is, do you see a rifle? Do you see a scope? Where is there a scope sticking out?
The quality from
anybody that buys this guy
details that you
peg-legged
see
with a rifle down his pants has never in their
Tried it?
entire life tried it. They've probably never held a firearm in their entire life.
Yeah.
And that rifle in particular, the German Mauser, was it?
Mauser. Yeah.
Those are not modular weapons. Even if you get one of the newer high-fangled ones, it's not going to break down into components that you can lug around in your pant leg like that. Not without significant discomfort and a tell. Yeah, I got it. He's hobbling, but he's bending his freaking knees, and you can clearly see that he is.
Both knees bend. Okay. This is a 32, 34-inch barrel and stock with about an 8-inch, maybe 9-inch scope mounted, and it's supposedly zeroed in. It has to be zeroed in. But if he's taking it apart, that's probably going to mess with the scope, and
it's going to change his zero. You'd have to re-zero the scope if you took it off for transport like that.
If he's put it anywhere, it's going to be a problem. So
this is complete fiction.
I don't know.
They would have been better off making the argument that he had pre-planted the rifle. If they'd done that from the start, then this narrative might have worked. It does look like he's got a bulge. Do you see the bulge? And
yeah, that's his iPhone. They say that's his iPhone.
Okay, well,
If you can determine that that's an iPhone in his pants, can you see anywhere else that he would have a rifle?
no,
Look,
just no.
the leg that the iPhone is in, if that leg is bent completely. Do you see that?
I cannot contort my mind enough to believe that he's got a weapon of
The other
any
leg
kind
is
in those
bent.
pants.
Well, it's up his shirt. No, it's not. You would see it when he moves. And then he's doing this, and there's a point where, and somebody mentioned this, and I haven't really looked back at it, but he changes legs.
By the way,
At one,
isn't it interesting how he seems to know where all the cameras are positioned too?
yeah,
Just like
so
any
he doesn't-
normal regular person would. Turning his face at the exact right time so you can't get any real identifying features off him.
That is kind of an interesting point.
Yeah. We got to remember Brill from Enemy of the State. He knew exactly where the cameras were.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, in that just
Tipping his hat.
split second, you can see he bends both knees. Look,
He tries to keep his head out of the frame of the camera.
1, 2, 1.
Watch.
Come on, man.
Watch as he tries to keep his head out of the frame of the camera. Got the hat tipped down.
Looking down, looking away, making sure nobody sees him.
Brill.
And it's really weird because I really, I had a lot of suspicion when I saw pictures, and there were other people on that staircase, because it shows, like the guy in the white T-shirt at one point in one of those pictures that they released. There's a guy in a white T-shirt, and I thought, why did that guy not notice this guy limping up the stairs? I think it's this guy here. How does he not recognize this guy's got an issue with his legs? But everybody's going about their business. Nobody's really worried.
Yeah, I don't know that people being aloof or unsuspicious is necessarily any tell. Like, I don't think everybody on campus was in on the op.
No. I'm curious. Did they actually talk to any of these people that passed him on the stairwell? Do you think?
No, it doesn't look like he talked to any of them.
No, I'm not saying him. I'm talking about the FBI or the police or security or anybody associated with the case.
I mean, if you've got operators in the field, you don't want to get extraneous reporters and testimony. This is Parkland 101. This is, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas 101. This is Route 91 festival shooting 101. The lady that came in and screamed, "You're all going to die," just moments before the shooting started. We're not going to get any witness testimony from her. How did you have foreknowledge of this? Did you have foreknowledge of this? You can't do that.
She's one of the ones that no longer is on this planet, right?
Or, investigate the 8 people that all had witness testimony saying that there were multiple shooters at Mandalay Bay that day, died under mysterious circumstances. We're not going to look into that because, reasons.
Yeah. But, cars going 100 miles an hour down a city street normally veer off into trees. So, yeah.
Engine blocks fly out of cars for no reason and land 200 feet behind the vehicle.
And that was before we got a lot of this
style.
technology. Michael, no, I mean, that was before we got all this new technology. So, there's no telling what we have now.
That it is a black clad individual. The timestamps line up to exactly when he gets to the top of the stairwell. That individual. And if you go back to the first officer's testimony on the very first day, he walks you through exactly what you see on the video. But the difference is now you're watching it for yourself when it's zoomed in. And
what gets me is the officer that he's talking about was stationed, I believe, if not mistaken, on top of the Hall of Flags, on top of where Charlie was at, looking at the Losi Center. Really? That's interesting. He was looking in that direction all the whole time and didn't see anything. But he's the one that went downstairs after the shot, crossed the open field they had there, went to that building, and then was met by someone with a badge and a gun in plain clothes, he didn't know who it was, didn't ask who it was, that accompanied him to the roof of the Losi building. And as soon as they get up there and he notices that there's a sniper's pad or a sniper's nest, he sees a screwdriver and his body camera goes dead. No, but you know,
How about that?
it just happens. You know, it's a common occurrence.
It's kind of like how when the you know what, we're gonna have to pull this clip up here. It's kind of like how when the SWAT unit went into the was it a condo or the unit at Mandalay Bay that Stephen Paddock was allegedly shooting out of, that all of a sudden the body cameras all point down.
Oh, yeah.
As they can point, so you can't see shit in the room.
Yeah.
Huh. Release that to the public.
Yeah.
And unlike this scenario, there was no trial for Stephen Paddock. His trial came at the end of a gun.
Well, and this one may have started out that way and it just didn't end that way. Because there's too many things that lead us to believe maybe it ended sooner than it should have. I'm still going back to the ring cam footage, which they talked about on Friday, which wasn't brought up until someone brought it up. But the lady that had the ring cam said there were 4 individuals in the Charger. The driver was bald. There's 4 individuals in this car, but the driver was bald. That was not Tyler Robinson, because Tyler Robinson doesn't have a lot of hair, but he's not bald. Now, why would there be multiple people in his vehicle? And at that time, he's supposed to be driving back from Pingwich, which is 3.5 hours away, from getting a steak and baked potato and having a couple of beers at the bar. But he's also texting, I'm still in Orem, trying to get to the drop point. There's a vehicle in the way. I'll text you by midnight. Well, that leads you to believe it's not quite midnight, but the time is, there's so much weirdness there. I don't know, man. So let me go back to what he's saying.
The rifle, and so I start timing it, 1001, 1002, 1003, cuts to a different angle, so I'm not sure if that kept the time or not, but when it cut to that different angle, what you see is that he gets up, he runs across the roof.
Can you turn the volume up, please, man?
He gets down in a prone position, and Megan, you look at the timestamp and you can see exactly what he's doing in that prone position. You see the barrel of the rifle go out, and I'm sitting there just saying, it's 12:22, and I was trying to will it to not get to 12:23 for some reason, because we all know what happened to 12:23, and you see the moment the shot is fired, you see him
fucking liar.
And that's when the run across the roof occurs. And
liar.
But I don't know, because
fucking liar. Liar. They will. I am telling you, if they do release this to the public, and I don't believe that they ever will.
They probably never will.
But if they ever do, I implore, you want to talk, I wish I had the money. I'd put a cash reward on this.
Do we have Poly Market on this?
Yeah, what's the over-under on if they're ever going to release this to the public? Because I don't think they will. In the case of Vegas, they didn't release the police body cam footage until a year after.
Well, and not all of it came out, but
no.
There were a couple that did that were they were interesting, but they weren't conclusive.
And the police footage that they did release, it didn't show the alleged hole that he cut before he started shooting out of the window either.
That's what I was going to.
That's still not available to the public.
Well, we have a broken window on the, what was it, west wall, or I don't remember specifically.
Well, we're about to play there, here in a second. I've got both the clips.
You have a broken window. No, we don't have any broken windows.
I've got both the clips pulled up. We're going to watch it in a second, but I want to get through yours first.
Okay.
But let me finish it. I am telling you, if they ever release this to the public, I want somebody more technically savvy than me. Maybe Baron will go through this and do this, but somebody needs to take AI detection software, like the best shit that's out there, and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Because I am telling you, it is 100% fake if they ever do release it. Because if they had this footage, they would have already leaked it to the public. That would have been the first thing that we saw.
Yeah.
This is fucking horse shit. I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't release some fucking generative AI thing. And I think the reason why they're waiting until the 2 minutes to midnight on this is because they don't have real footage of it. They need to cook up some AI crap, dump it onto the public after the fact, if they do it at all.
If they do it all, yeah. What they're gonna say is they don't want to release it because it would either cause a problem with the jury, tainting the jury pool, or it's very damaging to the family, which
And
I get.
by the
But-
way, even if they do have the 4K version of what he just showed there, are you seriously going to tell me you're going to be able to identify that guy from that distance, even with 4K, even with 8K footage, that you'll be able to 100% ID that it's Tyler Robinson in that spot from that camera angle?
From that distance, no.
From that
There's
distance,
no
I
way.
don't believe it.
No way. There's no way. Now, what really gets me, and what's so bizarre, this came up too I think on Friday. There was a 223 shell that was found on the building behind the sniper's nest. That roof actually is very sloped. It's very rounded. It's very difficult to actually pull anything off from that. There are some vantage points from there, but why was there a shell up there? Why was there a live 223 shell up on the roof? That's really bizarre. So
Come up to that guardrail, that student guardrail that was already there. He climbs over it. Then he goes down into kind of a crouch. And at that point, I started actually timing it because that's when we're told that he was assembling the rifle. And so I start timing it, 1001, 1002, 1003, cuts to a different angle. So I'm not sure if that kept the time or not. But when I cut to that different angle, what you see is that he gets up, he runs across the roof, he gets down in a prone position. And again, you look at the timestamp and you can see exactly what he's doing in that prone position. You see the barrel of the rifle go out.
And then somebody said, well, they saw a muzzle flash. No, there's no muzzle flash. There's no muzzle flash.
The moment the shot is fired, you see him get up, and that's when the run across the roof occurs. And it's that run, of course, that's already been released. And I just have to say that sitting there in the courtroom, watching the moment the shot is fired with Charlie's wife, with Charlie's mom, his dad sitting right there, it was a moment that made me very angry.
He's going to the emotion. He's going to the emotion,
Yeah.
straight to the emotion. Yeah. And the way he's telling this story tells me he's making it up as he's going. This is not a trustworthy person.
So he crawls over the guardrail, which we all know supposedly that's what he did. There's just like a little pole there that you can actually get over. And then he crouches down. Okay, how did he crouch down with a gun in his pants? How did he crouch down with a gun in his pants? If you saw him crouch, where was the gun? He's assembling the gun from where? Out of thin air? Was it already on the roof somewhere and we didn't see that? You should have seen it if it's in 4K.
They're assuming that the public's knowledge of firearms only extends to the realm of Fortnite. Well, it was in my inventory. Of course, it's not going to encumber me until I pull it out.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm an old Texan. I've been shooting for a long time. I've shot all kinds of weapons. Let me tell you, I cannot see being able to crouch with a 30-06 in my pants. I'm sorry, especially not with a 8-inch scope on it. There's just no way. And then for it to be zeroed in, for him to be able to take the shot, no, not gonna happen. Yeah, if he was proficient with a gun, he might have been able to pull it off with iron sights, but he didn't have iron sights. He had a scope on it. He used the scope and he said, "Granddaddy's scope seems to be really fine." Okay, well, how did you make that shot? Because we looked at the targets that were in your room and you were a poor shot on those targets, buddy. Sorry, just facts.
I'm going back to what Baron was asking before all this began. Let me move my microphone here. I'm going back to what Baron was asking. I'm going back to what Candace was asking. I'm going back to what Diligent Denizen was asking before all this shit went down. I want to see the footage of up to 48 hours before this event went down. I want to see the footage of a week before, and I want to see if anybody brought any suspicious packages or did some maintenance up on that area of the roof. Wink,
Yeah.
wink.
Yeah.
Or if somebody had a cherry picker out there for any reason whatsoever. Were there utility contractors out there? Was there a mysterious unmarked windowless white van with a pole arm?
Yeah. No.
Wink, 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 wink,
no.
wink.
Yeah. I don't know. There was at some point early on an interview with a young man who apparently had seen someone on the roof several days prior to that in that same location, and he spoke to him. He yelled across the I guess the building, whatever quad there, and said, "Hey, what, are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, Ryan." And even a professor came and said something to him, and he apparently left. He saw him twice in about a week, and that was probably the week prior to. So it's possible that yes, he was up there, but we don't have definitive proof of that. I don't think there's any footage of that. This is just hearsay. And of course, in Utah, hearsay is absolutely law, apparently, because you can use that as testimony. So they may pull that into court. I don't know, but God, I hope
I think that's just for the prelim that it's admissible and it's only at the judge's discretion, which of course was at the judge's discretion in this case.
Of course, we're still in prelim because they just put it off till September. They never really said anything beyond. We're going to just kind of take a recess until September.
Well, Nvidia needs more time to cook up the so-called footage.
The 4K
witness. Yeah.
The 4K, yeah.
They need to upscale the cooked up, body double of the Maroon 5 guy that was actually pulling the shot off on the roof, supposedly.
I think we could probably pull that off in Unreal if you want to try that.
Yeah, Unity engine. You could have that thing done right now.
Probably, yeah.
So there you go. Get Gabe on it.
There apparently was an instance of him being on that roof prior to, but the guy did not say, well, he was carrying a 30-06 and he put it down somewhere and left. No, he didn't say that. He just saw someone on the roof. And it kind of looked like him, but he couldn't tell. It was too far. I mean, at that distance, yeah, you can't tell who that is. It's just somebody on the roof. And you go, hey, you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. And that's it, But what's bizarre is the roof is not really, you can walk. This walkway goes right onto what is the roof of the building below you, which is really bizarre. It's so weird that this whole campus is set up that way. And that was their first stop on the tour. Why? And it was kind of a rush job. It wasn't planned like months in advance. It was planned like a couple of weeks in advance. They decided to use this as the first stop on the tour. And then they were expecting 600 people to show up, and 3,000 showed up, which, if you're going to put this out there and you know what kind of crowds he's been pulling, you're not going to expect that amount of people. If you put it out there, you're going to go, oh, we're not going to have that many people show up. We're going to have more than what we expected. And why are you only going to have 6 security officers and Charlie's team working as security for this? Why did you not hire more individuals to be there? Maybe they did. Maybe they had people, because there's a guy, supposedly, nobody knows who this guy was. Couldn't tell what his badge was. He didn't get a good look at it, but he had a badge. I can get a badge from Amazon. It looked really good. And he had a gun. Okay. And you're going to take him to the roof with you where he's your backup, but you don't know who he is? What if there was a shooter up there?
It's Jack Bauer. You gotta take Jack Bauer up there. I mean, I don't care who you are.
He may have been, but how do we know that? And he didn't know that. He didn't know who he was. And then of course, I get it. Okay. You didn't plug in your camera the night before. Okay. But conveniently, when you arrive at that location, it shuts off. How about the time you're standing on top of the Hall of Flags? Were you not body camming across the quad there? Did you not see across where there was somebody on a roof? Your body camera didn't catch that? Or is it only you just turned it on when you got to the roof and immediately shut off? That's convenient. Sorry.
I know this has already been asked, but I figure it warrants asking again. Where's the drone footage? Did the police not have drone coverage? Did TPUSA not have drone coverage? Did any potential bystanders, they probably issued a no-fly zone over UVU. But that doesn't mean somebody wasn't flying one.
Yeah, no, supposedly there is a no-fly zone, and you have to get like a permit to fly over campus. That's why Brian Harple's crew did not have a drone up. However, going in, there's a video of Charlie in the car, and they're looking at drone footage on his phone of the crowd. So somebody had a drone up. Somebody had taken crowd footage. There is footage somewhere, and I can't find it now, but I've seen it of the crowd that day from a drone. And then later, they used a drone to, and this is probably the police drone, but they were taking pictures of the locations like the sniper's nest and the tent. That was drone footage. So they had a drone somewhere. Somebody had one. But of course, why weren't they using them as security? Why did they not have someone on that roof? If they knew that roof was that accessible, you can walk out, you can crawl over a bar, and you're right there on top of that roof. Why did they not have anybody there? Why did they not have anybody on the roof in Butler? Tell me that. Sorry.
All right. I hate to do this, but we got to take our first non-corporate sponsored break for the evening. Oh, you didn't have to pull it down. or were we done? Are we done with that?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, it's the same garbage. He's just telling you a story that he's concocted, or it's in his mind, and I get it. If you want to believe this story, great. But I don't buy that. There were other people in the courtroom that were seeing the same footage that you were seeing, and they said it's not in 4K. It's not the footage any different, basically, than what we've all seen before, except maybe the circles to show where the figure is, and a little bit of a blow up. Maybe they said 20 to 30%. I really, looking at the video, do not believe it's 20 to 30%. It may be 15 at max. That's just from my experience, but it is no different. It is not 4K video. It is not the video that he's saying that it is. Cannot tell who that figure is on the roof. I'm sorry, it's not happening. So there we go. And I'll shut
No, that's all right, man.
up. It makes me very angry. And it's almost like these influencers are using their platforms to change or sway the public's opinion. And I know that's what they're paid to do, sway public opinion, but you're changing the way people think about this.
Yes.
And you're lying. You're outright lying. Really interesting, because they said, well, you can see when he's going through the car garage, the car park there, you can see the license plate clearly. Yeah, you can't. You can't read that license plate. There's no way. Unless they enhanced it. If they draw the little numbers on there, maybe. Even welcome back, man.
The problem, hello. The problem that I have is, if we at a baseline had a level of trust towards towards the federal government, towards these agencies, even for TPUSA, it'd be one thing. And initially, a lot of these guys that were that have since become detractors, rather, were on board the official narrative.
Yeah.
Diligent Denizen, Baron Coleman. If you go back to these guys' initial spaces, and by the way, I found Diligent Denizen through this debacle as it unfolded. that's what introduced me to Diligent in the first place. Because here's this crazy guy. He sounds like Alex Jones ranting and raving. And, I became a convert really quickly because that energy really resonates with me. And it also became apparent to me that this was not a clout chasing game for him. He was actually passionate about finding the truth.
The truth, yeah.
He does not care about agendas, or at least he doesn't anymore, insofar as I can tell, And when he does have one, he usually lets you know what it is. And I appreciate that honesty. Doesn't mean he's correct all the time.
No.
But
none of us are correct 100% of the time. But we're the ones that are out here looking for the answers. We're looking for truth.
It wasn't until it wasn't until the narrative stopped adding up that he started, not believing the official stuff. Now he's quicker to it. He's more like me in that regard. He's quicker to it than most folks, most normies out there. But it did take a while. And Baron Coleman also has mentioned before that he was with Erica Kirk, and he didn't want to seem like he was dogpiling on her, and it was a time of weakness. It was a time of pain. She just become a widow, and I totally get that. I got that at the time. At that time, I was like, man, this whole, going after his wife thing, I don't know about this. But as this narrative progressed, and I watched and I listened to the things that she was saying and doing, and none of it seemed to add up to me to be a natural response to losing a loved one, your husband, your forever partner with whom you have children. Then I started questioning. And I still don't know what, if any, role that she's played in this whole thing. Part of the cover-up, maybe. Maybe she's being blackmailed, extorted, threatened, or something. I don't know. Or maybe she's just trying to be willfully ignorant to the larger games that are being played. I certainly couldn't blame her or anybody put into that particular situation for behaving in that manner.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I have to trust her, and it doesn't mean that I have to respect her.
Well, we go back to Dan and Cash, because they said some things to start out with, and we totally believed what they had to say until they got into office, and then they came out and they had that 1,000-yard stare where,
absolutely,
and that changed their entire demeanor, which makes us believe there's something going on.
Yes.
It just doesn't add up.
Kyle Serafin's Dan Bongino versus Dan Bongino clips. Nobody owns Dan Bongino like Dan Bongino.
Yeah.
You've got the before the FBI version and then the after the FBI version. Yeah. And never the twain shall meet. And you know what? If he got out of office, if he got out of office and he just started dropping plates, he would have totally regained my respect. But that's not what he did. Tulsi Gabbard has kind of done that to a degree, but
you can check out, but you can never leave. That's literally what it is, because once they have you and they know they have you, and you could tell that by his look, by those eyes, by that, oh my God, I'm under gunfire, whatever. That's not going to go away. Just because you left and went back to podcasting, that fear is still there, and they've got you, man. So, I live in fear too, literally, because of things I know or things that I think I know. But I don't know, man. It's just it's a scary proposition when you're put in that limelight and you're forced to say the things that you know are wrong to the whole world. I don't know how I would deal with that,
Okay, we're going to get into our stream swiping stuff right now, and I've got some. Before we get into my clip here, I want to actually we're gonna do a blast from the past, pun not intended, or maybe it is. I don't know. It's one of those. Just kidding, unless unless the joke lands.
With two exhausts together on the right-hand side. Yet, when they're picking up the car from his parents' house, it's on a trailer, and you can definitely tell that there are only one, it appears to be, there may be dual exhaust, but you can see the one on the left-hand side. It's not on the right-hand side. So that, of course, right off the bat says there's something wrong with this picture. And apparently, there were multiple similar Dodge Chargers in that vicinity that day, even to the same kind of wheels, which is really strange. At least two vehicles that had different equipment packages, but they had the same wheels, and they were colored the same, and they looked similar. So I don't know. It's almost like one of the 200 guys that were walking around that looked similar was wearing a maroon shirt and khaki pants might have driven that car somewhere else that, I don't know. Just very bizarre. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to kind of fill the time.
So I want to get into some of the posts that Diligent Dennison made earlier.
I have to ask you though, have you seen the new video that he put out?
Diligent?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. Was it the one where he's interviewing the cowboy?
Yes.
Steakhouse employee. Yeah, that's one of the ones we're gonna do.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna do that right now.
Okay. Just want to make sure that you were aware of that one. So
I have to. First of all, I got to switch off screen here because of the OPSEC and.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I can. Let me see here. Share this tab. Is it sharing audio, by the way? Was it sharing audio?
When it was for me just on StreamYard.
The cop video that we just played?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing audio here.
Yeah.
So eyewitness. Let me make sure here. I got to switch back. There we go. Eyewitness puts Tyler Robinson in Panguitch, Utah at between 9 and 10 p.m. on September 10th. I interviewed the staff at Cowboys Smokehouse who served Robinson the night Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'm going to speed it up.
Yeah.
Because this guy talks slow.
Yeah, I almost thought he was a Texan for a minute. And he could be, for all I know. But
after I notified my boss, we reached out to the authorities. He contacted the FBI. They got our contact information, but we never heard anything from them.
You never heard back from the FBI after you reported it?
Never heard anything. And that's kind of what prompted me to send it in. It just didn't sit right with me.
And how certain are you that it was Tyler Robinson that you saw?
100%.
100%?
When I had heard his voice, he was just a weird guy, and I wasn't really paying attention to my phone that day. I'd seen that Charlie had been shot, and I didn't really want to give any of my energy to it until I was done with work. And the next morning, I went to my other job, and my coworker was kind of talking to me about it. He pulled up a picture. He said I looked like I was a little shocked by it because I recognized the face. And then later that night, or that day rather, they released a video of him getting his college acceptance letter. And when I heard his voice, it was no doubt in my mind that was him.
And do you know what time he left?
It was close to closing, so it was around.
What time do you guys close?
10 o'clock. I was the one who helped him check out. Too.
And you were the one that helped him check out? So you're the one that you took the card from him?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just like I told. I took the card. I figured that would be good information for the feds to look into it, and
And they never checked into it, not once.
I don't know if they checked into that. I know they got that information from
Ain't
my
that
boss.
something?
So they got the information, but you don't know. You never heard back again.
Never heard anything from them.
The defense, did the prosecution ever reach out to you guys to come testify or anything like that?
No one's reached out to us at all.
Has the defense hasn't reached out to you?
Nope.
No one's reached out to you whatsoever, even
No.
though you saw him
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah, no one's reached out regarding anything to do with Tyler Robinson.
Huh.
That's
Really
odd.
makes you think.
Very odd.
And you know, not for nothing, but it would be so fucking easy to look at the payment information and see the guy's fucking name on his fucking card.
Well,
'Cause
apparently
that'll be in their system. And
you
then
know,
you
what
would
they
have
said was there's no name on the new cards. I don't get that.
Yes, there is. And even if there isn't, it'd be very easy for the feds to subpoena that information, to check it against a potential alibi. And by the way, this would be what's considered exculpatory information. So if they're withholding this, that could be grounds in and of itself for overturning the trial. You get a mistrial from that. I don't know what is the Fed's game on this. Disprove it at the very least. Yeah, we looked at it, but it was actually a different guy that kind of looked like him, or looked a lot like him, because it was one of our Maroon 5 body doubles or whatever. It's getting harder and harder to breathe.
Well, it was brought up this morning by Kyle that, of course, you know, Cash was going to Chicago to see his friend, who's a girl, perform in a parking lot of a grocery store, I think. But he also had scheduled to meet with office agents there at the Chicago office. So it was a business trip. It wasn't, you know, because she was performing. But before he could get onto the plane,
Right.
tarmac, actually on the tarmac, they took him back to the White House to have a meeting about something, and he was planned to be there all day. So he had to reschedule his plans, and so he's very busy with whatever he's got going on. It could be that, you know, the sudden death of a particular senator may have prompted this, or it could have been a threat on a particular other political high-ranking official. We don't know what the whole situation was, but he definitely is very busy right now. You know, they're arresting 7,000 gang members a day, so you know, they're really busy. So yeah. I don't know if you watched Steve recently, but Steve Friend brought up in a couple of cases that they've actually brought forth recently, the agents that are on these high profile cases have been on the job for 2 years. These are the most experienced FBI agents they have to put these on high profile cases. They've been on the job for 2 years. What are all the old timers doing? What cases are they working? I don't know. It's just really bizarre.
Well, we just needed, you know, fresh young faces to pick up on all the Zoomerisms and stuff, you know. They needed the untouchables.
I mean, the Rainbow Coalition.
Or something. I don't know. Let's get into this one here. This is from Candace earlier. 10 hours ago. Diligent clip this. Come on.
Tyler Robinson, we can exclusively confirm to you all, drove 3 hours away from Orem, Utah, down to Panguitch, Utah. I hope I'm saying that right. A lot of the cities sound weird. I think it's Panguitch, Utah. I'm showing you a map of that distance. It is just under 3 hours to get there. And what was he doing there? You're probably wondering, did he meet up with somebody? No, he was alone. And what we can tell you that he did when he got there was that he pulled into the Cowboys Smokehouse
To
on
have a
North Main
last
Street.
meal.
He grabbed himself a seat at the bar at this steakhouse, and he ordered himself some more food. Specifically, Tyler Robinson ordered a steak, medium rare, with mashed potatoes and vegetables. There were 3 servers
Good
that
eating.
were working that night. And then after
I haven't had a steak in
news
forever.
exploded.
Neither have I. Where's this guy getting all this money from? Maybe it really was a Fed.
He may have been, yeah, because I'm not getting that kind of money.
The following day, and people began obsessively sharing, of course, the photo of the suspect, Tyler Robinson, having been captured after 33 hours. Well, one of the servers recognized him as the person that was sitting at the bar the night before. So they decided to huddle up with management and said, no, that person, Tyler Robinson, he was here. He was eating a steak. He was eating mashed potatoes. Management said, are you sure? Are you positive that Tyler Robinson said, yes, I'm absolutely sure. Well, they don't have any cameras at this restaurant. So what they decided to do was to verify that he was in the building, not by, of course, consulting outdoor video footage, which they didn't have access to, but rather just looking through credit card charges. Because Tyler Robinson, despite telling his roommate how he wanted to get away with this, remember the messages and like, oh, here's what happened. I don't want anybody to know. Make sure you delete this letter that's under the keyboard, but take a picture of it before you delete it, but read it and then destroy it. He's trying to get away with this crime. Well, he used his credit card. That's how they found it.
Oops. Wonder what else they missed.
They had OPSEC.
Wonder what else they missed.
Yeah, I don't know yet. It's not come to light, but there's a lot of stuff out there that if you are looking in the right place, you're going to go, what the hell is that? How did that get there?
Yeah. I got one more to pull up here. I don't know if I saved it or not.
Where he brings them in, and it's very, very interesting what they have to say about the whole situation.
All right.
A lot of what I had to say in my preamble really did come from what they had to say. So.
Can you guys hear us okay?
I can now, yeah. They obviously couldn't,
Okay,
but
cool.
okay, so
Very
tell me
well.
real quick. Oh, it's a high Q outfit. So tell me real quickly. Tell me real quickly. The video we just watched, you just saw the video. How fundamentally different? How much zooming, how much cropping, how different was the video you saw in court from what we just watched?
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop it here just for context for people. This is what he is referencing.
Yeah, this is
The parking lot footage. I'm going to mute it here. So
this is the footage that a lot of us have seen, but in an edited form. Because this beginning section, when it's pointed in that direction, we have not seen this section in the original release from the FBI. What we saw was the individual running from a point on the corner, the left-hand side, behind the atrium to the far corner of the building where that white triangle was, and jumping down. This apparently, what is really strange, I don't know how wide this camera angle could possibly be. It's probably 140 degrees. But at that particular fisheye lens, it's going to be very difficult to make any distinguishing marks or recognize anybody at that distance other than a blob or a pixel on the screen. And I think that's kind of what he's going through. Yeah, you might want to. Yeah, there you go. Up, and then check your speed.
I'm gonna play it at regular speed here.
Okay.
I'm just showing what we're seeing from inside the courtroom, and I didn't realize it was doing shadow vision. So we're
Yeah,
getting shadow vision inception.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And you got to understand that this is being projected on a large screen TV from a laptop. So this is not like the best quality anyway, but this is the best footage that they possibly have that captured
Well,
this particular angle.
like you said, even if this is 4K, and it looks like it might be, you're not going to pull enough facial features here to be
Not
able
at that distance.
to
There's
ID
no way.
him.
There's no way at that distance you can tell who that is. So it's nothing but a stick figure running across the roof. And I contend that from what I saw in this footage, and I watched the footage they were showing in the courtroom that day. I did not see him crouch. I didn't see him crawl over the rail, nor did I see him crouch down. I saw a blur go out to the edge, but then I lost him again. And so I can't make any distinctions. But again, it's a picture of a picture of a video of a video. Yeah, maybe. But these ladies were in the courtroom, and let's get their word for it.
Can you guys hear us okay?
I can now, yeah. They obviously could, but okay, so tell me real quick. Oh, it's a high Q outfit.
Not make out who it is. Can you guys hear us okay?
I can now, yeah. They obviously could, but okay, so tell me real quick. Oh, it's a high Q outfit. So tell me real quickly.
Allegedly.
Tell me real quickly. The video we just watched, you just saw the video. How fundamentally different? How much zooming? How much cropping? How different was the video you saw in court from what we just watched?
So I would say we're not 100% positive if it's that same exact camera. It might be another camera that's like maybe 20 feet away. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
From my perspective, I think it's the same camera. And it slightly zooms in.
The guy testified it was the same camera. That's what I just played.
Oh, okay.
But then
it is.
Yeah. No distinction other than circles and a little zoom. So how much did they zoom in?
Barely at all.
I would guess 20 to 30%.
Okay.
Like you cannot make out who it is. It's just a little black figure. We've talked to other people that were the other 14 people in line just to get their perspectives as well. And one of them jokingly said, like, it could have been a cow on the roof. That's how far away it was. Like, you literally cannot definitively say that it's Tyler Robinson. You cannot make out who it is at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking you to jump in the heads of other people. I mean, I think that would be unfair to try to say, why is Jack Posobiec and Brandon Tatum and why are all these people saying this? I don't want you to try to guess. But when you hear them say that, does it sound like...
I can guess, Baron.
What you saw. Because they're saying it was crystal clear, 4K. You could see him pull the trigger. You could see him shoot the shot. You could see him lying. Does it sound accurate to you?
Absolutely not.
No, I think they got emotional because they're friends with Erica, and Erica was indeed sitting there bawling. And so were the Kirk parents. So maybe they were emotional, like, oh, you see a video which infers that he's taking the shot in that moment because the timestamps are showing. So I think they took that and, started typing it out and thought, oh, I'm going to run with this because this is going to be good. I have no clue.
Now, I mean, in my opinion, it's a blatant lie. Like Benny Johnson saying it was HD 4K quality, zoomed in, Tyler Robinson, clear as day, pulling the trigger. Like that is the biggest lie I've ever heard. It is so not clear of who it is. It's so far away. It is not zoomed in at all. And also Benny Johnson saying everyone in the courtroom gasped. That is also blatant lie. No one gasped. Like, that literally did not happen.
We have confirmed with 3 other people there that nobody gasped, and we're 2 more, so that's 5 total. Nobody gasped. The other people that we spoke with were sitting on the opposite end of the courtroom.
I think we get the picture here, and I don't want to rumple Aaron Coleman's stuff. So
I don't want to say that what they saw definitively was what I saw, because I don't know that. Everybody's reality is different. And so for them, the reality is that Tyler Robinson went on that roof, put the gun together, walked over there, crawled to that point, took the shot, and then ran off. And they saw him exactly in their mind as they believe it happened. I did not see that because I do not believe that to be true. And that may be just because we experience reality differently. I don't know. But it does seem if they saw what I saw, they're lying. It's a blatant lie, and they know it, and there's a reason behind it. And I'm not sure what that reason is. I don't care to know. But I want the truth. And that's, I think, the main thing that everybody's looking for is the.
all right, I said we were going to get to the data center stuff this evening, but it's getting late, and I don't think we're going to have time to cover it.
I don't think so. That's actually a much larger topic. So yeah.
Yes. We'll have to do that at a separate time. I am at the edge of my time slot for this evening, which is unplanned. It's always unplanned because I'm still not getting paid to do this professionally. Maybe some of y'all can help with that. Maybe not. I don't know. Man's got to have dreams.
Yeah. I think we covered the points that you and I had discussed covering, except for the data center. So
that can wait for another time.
Yeah,
we'll cover that. I don't know if I get any more free time this week. Randomly,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. All right, man.
And
Enjoyed it.
Kino Casino is on, so I'll probably be lurking.
Yeah, I got to hit the rest of Candace, and then I got to check out Baron and a few other podcasters. So I'll be a little busy for the next 24 hours.
All right, man. Put them feelers out for new materials.
Yeah.
If folks in the chat have stuff they want us to cover or react to, post it in the chat or in the comments or whatever.
You know, I've been reading those comments, but so far I'm not hitting pay dirt. So
okay, I am cooked. I am done. Stick a fork in me. It is that time of day. Bell. Boom. Done.